So one of the things we want to kind of give people an understanding of just the lives that have been impacted by the work that we're doing. And if you could just kind of tell us a little bit, Victoria, about Nursultan and the progress that he's made and kind of a little bit about the story of how he came to us.
Sure. Nursultan is funny. He's witty. He's strong-willed. He's compassionate and kind. He's got this amazing sense of humor. And he also is very smart and intuitive and can read people. Most people don't realize because of his functioning that he has Down syndrome, because here the expectation is they can't do anything. And Nursultan can do anything anybody else can. And he's 4.5 now, and he's active and learning all kinds of new things every day. He's still learning to articulate speech fully, but he also knows 3 languages. So that's amazing. He's learning to write and to control his fingers and fine motor skills.
So talk about when he first came to Caring Heart.
Oh, when he first came, it was actually a Saturday evening. There was a knock on the gate, and one of our neighbors was there. At first, she didn't say it was her sister. At first, it was just a woman that needed help and had a child, and there was no heat, and lived out in Chudala, a small village from here. And so, I don't know, it wore me down, and I finally said, okay, well, come on Sunday and we'll talk. And they showed up at the gate. The next, obviously, was in her mid-40s. And her child was very small. He was very sickly. He had conjunctivitis and an awful cold. Was very weak, very thin. Couldn't hold his head up, and he had Down syndrome.
So she came to live with us, and then shortly thereafter, he celebrated his first birthday.
He did, but he quickly, given good nutrition. Herdadina came from Shimkent, who's a physical therapist from the Netherlands, and she showed us what to do. Dr. Lori checked him out, and we started giving him good food and good nutrition, encouraging her, working with him, and he just responded right away. He was excited to be part of the world. He had done a lot of sleeping before, so he was engaged with the other children. He saw them doing stuff, and of course, he doesn't know that there's a problem. He just was excited to be part of the family. She was able to find a job as a teacher's assistant. She is trained as a Kazakh teacher. And then she moved out into an apartment with Nursultan that next June. So he was a year and 6 months. And but he still came to the day program, and he would sometimes spend the night then, but he'd come to the day program, and he just blossomed. He just started growing and developing and learning new things. He was part of our family. The children loved him. They interacted with them. Our staff really changed their opinion, because they were all scared when they first saw him. They were worried they might catch Down syndrome, so they were very tentative to reach out to him. And once they realized that they couldn't catch it, and once they saw him just being a normal boy, then they responded differently to him, and their hearts changed. And they said, well, maybe he doesn't have Down syndrome. And it's like, no, he still has Down syndrome. He's just a normal boy, though, who happens to have Down syndrome. Oljas are about the same age, and they became fast buddies, even though Oljas is very strong and Nursultan isn't as strong. They still formed a friendship, and they're very compassionate towards each other, seek each other out, play together, interact together.
During that therapy process, one of the things that was a challenge was to help him learn to walk.
It was. He was very weak, and it took him a while to get that skill. So he, with various physical exercises, and then with the walker, the aid of a walker, he finally mastered that. And then there's no stopping him. He can climb the slide, he can go down the slide, or climb the stairs of the slide, go down the slide, he can climb up and over everything. And he loves music. He directs, and he dances to it, and he jumps to it. He's just a very inquisitive, smart boy.
He really does like to dance. It's been
He
one of the
loves.
yeah.
Well, he's got a rhythm. He can actually match the music with his rhythm and stuff. So
yeah. How have the other children adapted to Nursultan? What are their response to him typically?
He's just one of the kids. Now, Oljas is very strong. Nursultan's not as strong. So Oljas would sometimes carry the bike off the porch for him and do different things. And, school's just around the corner. So one of our big desire is to make sure that he can have good education. Mm-hmm. So being able to open up, a development center where he can continue on to get and receive the education that he deserves and needs to build his life and have a good future.
We'll end with this video. Okay. And just like to thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Осы балалар ер жетіп, азамат болғанда өмірге деген көзқарастары қалай болар екен? Бірі қара, бірі сары шашты, бірге ойнап рахаттана күліп, бір-біріне қамқор болған жан достар. Нұрсұлтан Олжастан сәл әлсіз болса да, өмірге құштар. Екеуі бірге күлімдеп, әрқашан бақытты болып жүреді. Олжас әрқайсымыздан айырмашылықты емес, тек ұқсастықты көріп өсуде. Бұл өмірде ерекше жаратылған әрбір жанға өзіндегі тек қамқорлығын бере алады. Үлкен парасаттылық пен адамгершілікті қатар ұштастырған жандар ешқашан даңғойлыққа, теріс әрекетке бармасы анық. Сәби кезінен бауырға, досқа деген махаббатты ұялатып, өсіп келе жатқан Олжас пен Нұрсұлтан қоғамға тек жақсылықты үйрете алатын, көп үміт күттіретін балапандар.